Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. And there you are, Bruce McCurdy. Welcome, welcome, Bruce. I'm David Staples of the Journal, and that guy in you're very large in the screen. It's fine though.
I'm leaning forward to see around the camera to look at my screen. Hello.
Hello. So, Bruce, this is our second go at the podcast tonight. I screwed up somehow with my sound system, so we're going to do the whole thing again. But we love talking Oilers so much that that's not a problem for you and I.
Well, we can talk. At least tonight we got something to talk about. Even though it was a loss in Vancouver, which is one of the worst possible results for Oilers fans. The good news is that while Vancouver stole the game, they stole the 0 points that went along with it. So I would rather be an Oiler fan watching my team, or the players wearing my team's crest, play well in that game than if I was a Vancouver fan. I would not be too happy with what I saw, win or no win. But I'm not a Vancouver fan, so I don't really have to worry about that.
Now your sound's sounding a little muffled. Like, are you too close to your mic or something? All right.
I'm going to bring it in. I should be. Is that any better?
Yeah, I think that's better. Was it a little far or something?
Yeah, I was leaning back in my chair a tiny bit.
This is the 21st century technical world, Bruce, where it's all live, warts and all. Live. Anyway, so Bruce, we're going to do it was a 4-2 loss by the Oilers, but again, their young players really played well. I think the Oilers had 3 regulars in the lineup, 3 or 4 regulars in the lineup, mainly Bakersfield players in the lineup, and they outplayed the Vancouver Canucks considerably. Lots of good signs. So Bruce, we're going to do our 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers podcast. What's your good thing?
My good thing is the general style of play by the Oilers. I love the energy level. I love the quick, short passes, of which there were many, many in this game, in all 3 zones. They made a few short passes in their own zone, even in front of their net, like you noted last night that they were doing. And
breaking up the middle.
And great puck support. Like the forwards are coming back and really helping out the D-men on the breakouts. And the Dave Tippett approach, 5 in defense, 5 in attack, it's actually been on display, I think, these 2 nights. And I was, without a word of a lie, David, I thought at one point during the game, I was thinking, the Oilers may have actually completed more passes in this game than they did in any game last year. It was like ticky-tack, Barcelona football with the short, but the high percentage stuff. And they were making most of them. And this was, mostly this was the Bakersfield Condors. There was 1 forward out of the 12 who played the entire season in the NHL last year, Marcus Granlund. The other 11 forwards all spent some time in the AHL. And, of course, a couple of them were in lower leagues, like the guys graduating from junior, like Ryan McLeod. And then even on the back end, there was just the 1 pairing of true NHL defenders. And the other 4 guys were minor leaguers or juniors last year. And yet that team, with the system that they were playing, they dominated the puck in this game.
You just need to adjust your camera a little bit because I'm losing the bottom half of your face there. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Bruce, I agree with you. That it's just 2 games into this season, and now we're going to get demonetized. It's just 2
is that
games.
even possible?
It is. It's just 2 games into the season, and it's too early to say. But we are definitely seeing a different brand of hockey, different style of hockey, different philosophy. No more kind of, slam it up the boards and then try to tip it at center ice so it goes shooting. McClellan kind of fell in love with that, that it was kind of a style that worked a little bit. And we had 2 real heavy hockey coaches. We had a heavy hockey GM, and the Oilers were trying to play some heavy hockey. And, man, the last 2 years
get that puck 6 feet away from the boards and pound away.
Oh God, I was getting sick of it. And the question is, can these players adjust to this new style of passing hockey? So far, so good. The young guys are certainly getting it. And I thought Adam Larson was okay, but Darnell Nurse I thought was actually really good, really embraced it and was excuse me, moving the puck much more rapidly, making quick passes than perhaps we've seen from him in the past. So, yeah, I agree with your good thing, and it's kind of and I don't know if we say this every season. Oh, there's new stuff happening, and it's all exciting and looks good. But I just think it's weird. It's kind of, do you find it kind of a little bit weird and disorienting, but in a good way to be
Yes,
watching the Oilers
yes.
right now?
I can't, David, I can't remember watching a game in the first week of the preseason where I was drawn into the quality of the hockey like I was tonight. Like I'm pretty jaded when it comes to preseason games. I've seen a lot of them, and most of them are not particularly interesting, with little bits and starts about individual players' performances and so on. But in terms of a team performance, um, and sort of the team buying in and playing balls out, that's how I thought they played tonight. I was very happy with the team effort, and and then I can give you a list of individuals who I was also happy with. But it's just the showing of the Oilers team. I mean, everything but the win, and as
Seemed like
mentioned, preseason, so who cares?
seems like non-decade of darkness hockey is how it seems
Yeah,
like Oilers hockey from
yeah,
some other time, some other era,
yeah,
where everyone's really working and they actually have a chance to score,
yeah,
and all four lines have a chance to score,
mm,
and they're passing the puck around and they're making plays. It just makes my head hurt to think of the hockey we've seen the
yeah,
last the last little while. So my
forever.
good thing, Bruce, is just one other thing we're seeing, I think, is the depth of the organization. And you mentioned how many Bakersfield players were in this game.
Mhm.
Corey Pronman of The Athletic rated the Oilers farm system as the ninth overall farm system. And there was a couple players, from the top of his list in the game tonight. Evan Bouchard, Dmitry Samorukov, Tyler Benson were all in the excuse me, all in the game. Cooper Marody, and these players are all knocking on the door. They all got real talent. So, and it wasn't just them. Cooper Marody,
Mhm.
Colby Cave, Cameron Hebig,
Mhm.
Patrick Russell,
Patrick Russell was
Ethan
terrific in
Bear.
this.
Bruce, that's the best I've seen Ethan Bear. I don't know
Mhm.
what he did this summer, but he was moving so with such fluidity, and like he's always been a fairly fluid player, but he looked kind of chunky before, and now he just was moving very very well, passing the puck well. He's got a real chance to make this team.
Mhm.
Like if he keeps playing like that, good for Ethan Bear. Um, Thomas Yurko,
Wow.
one of the players they brought in, was just flashing around, making nice plays with the puck. I was thinking, geez, how'd you like to see a line with just one game with Cooper Marody and Thomas Yurko on the wings and Ryan Nugent Hopkins at center? See how that line does. Or, Tyler Benson. And I was really glad because you and I watched the playoffs last year. We saw Cooper Marody and Benson. We saw them play their A games.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in this preseason we've seen Benson and Marody play their A games. And Cooper Marody's a really talented player in a lot of ways. He can make plays with the puck, passes it really well, and I'm glad that Dave Tippett saw that, and
Mhm.
people judging him saw that, because I like this player a lot,
No, you
and
do.
I think he can be an NHL. He has a chance to be an NHL winger, and if he's on your third line, might not hurt you, might score some goals. Same with Yurko. So it's kind of fascinating to see this kind of level of competition. We heard about how these players, Tippett was talking about how they're too friendly with each other. They need to
Mhm.
compete. Well, game on. They're competing now.
Yeah. Well, the second Oilers goal um, was a slick three-way passing play between Yurko to Marody, and a beautiful diagonal back pass to uh, Patrick Russell in the slot, and a very nice shot from Russell inside the far post. I mean, that was a major league goal, that second one. And there was at least two other sequences where they made like four passes in a row in the offensive zone. One where the very last pass from Samorukov to Hebig, who had started the play in the corner, and the puck went around in like a diamond shape and it went right back to Hebig and was going to go in the net. And the Canuck 77 Goldobin made a diving desperation lunge to just barely tip the pass out of danger. Like that was a goal scoring type play, and it was just foiled by a hero defensive play. And then there was the other one where Good grief, I have no idea how Ryan McLeod couldn't score. It was 2-1, and he was going to make it 3-1 off a great setup from Evan Bouchard. And again, it was like a 3 or 4 way passing play. And the last pass, and he was around the goalie, and he had the yawning 6x4. And somehow he managed to find the iron from point blank range. And he was pretty dismayed with that result. But the play itself was textbook. And that was some in the offensive zone, and we saw more of those in the defense zone. Just tic-tac-toe, short passes on
passing,
the tape.
Yeah, that was just fantastic to watch, that kind of passing. And again, it has been missing. The Oilers just last year, just so many players who have trouble passing, and a few of them are gone. And good riddance, good riddance. Bruce, so I'll give you my bad thing here. It was on the one of the goals that. The tying goal, I guess, Elias Peterson's tying goal.
Oh yeah.
Shane Starrett let out the biggest, softest rebound on that, and he had played a really solid game until then, but he really muffed that one, and he's going to be. Yeah. That's when he's flying home and he's trying to sleep on the plane. He's going to wake up suddenly. It's like, oh geez, what happened there? And the other guy right beside him is going to have a fellow nightmare, is Evan Bouchard, who learned a real lesson, I think. Which is, if you're on the ice with Elias Peterson, you keep your eye on that guy. You don't let him creep behind you. You're on him, you're with him, you're aware of him, you're ready to pounce on him at any second, because he will do you in a microsecond. And that's exactly what happened there on that goal. Bouchard just fell asleep briefly, and boom, it was like a micro nap, and bam, all goal again. So good lesson for Evan Bouchard.
Not just Elias Peterson, but lots of high-quality NHL snipers. I mean, defensemen have to be on their toes, because NHL snipers will make you pay, as Pettersson did on that play.
Bouchard and Samorukov, they had a lot of really scintillating, exciting plays. Samorukov's easily his best game, I think, is in an Oiler uniform. But man, they had some howlers too. They were really up and down, and so. Which speaks to me of probably two players who are going to be starting the year in Bakersfield, if I was to guess right now. Bruce, what was your bad thing?
Was the goal right after that, and it was only about a minute later. And it was from really 3 players who were regulars in Edmonton last year. Colby Cave losing the draw and letting his man get away from him. But the would-be shutdown defense pairing of Nurse and Larson were at 6s and 7s there. I mean, off a lost defensive zone face-off, the assignment should be pretty clear, and yet Nurse kind of drifted over to cover Larson's man on the right side of the crease, defensive right side. Larson drifted out into no man's land, somewhere at the bottom of the face-off circle, not really covering anyone or the shoot, or at least the passing lane. I think he tried to block a shot, but it turned out not to be a shot, but a pass to the open stick on the side of the crease, and nobody touched the goal scorer, and it wound up kind of being a ridiculously easy goal. And a sad thing that one lost face-off on a night they did pretty well in the circle, but that one it was just a quick cadence of mistakes, and bang, and that was turned out to be the deciding goal.
When Yanni Pitkanen was the Oilers, Bruce, I invented this term. It's for when a defenseman is kind of on walkabout. He's wandering around. He's not covering anyone, but he's also not blocking the pass. And he's not blocking any passing lane. And that's where Adam Larson was on that goal. He was in the red light zone.
That's a good name for it.
He was in the red light zone a little too often last year as well.
Yes,
so, a lot too often. So Adam Larson, we're on to you.
And the word I was looking for was cascade of mistakes. It was a cascade. One guy got beaten, and before you knew it, they were all floundering.
A cavalcade of crapola. Yeah, Colby Cave lost his man on the face-off there. I mean, I don't.
Just lost your mic, David.
Now?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go without the blue snow. So completely cut out all of a sudden.
Completely cut out.
Wow. I think I might have to get a new mic. I think that's the issue. Oh, well, such is life. Such is life in the big leagues, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
The big leagues of broadcasting.
When we got this high tech performance that we have this high standard we have to live down to.
It's a miracle we're doing this podcast. I mean, we had to figure out a technical, I think for the third time, whatever broadcast system we used didn't work anymore. So we had to figure out a new one. And here we are, man. We were like, I'm on top of the world because we figured that out. But anyway, time to get a new mic. What's your number?
My number is it's two numbers, 81 to 39. These are the shot attempts. Edmonton had 81 shot attempts in this game, 37 of which were shots on goal to 24. So not quite a 2-to-1 margin in shots, but over 2-to-1 margin in attempts. 31 shots were blocked, 7 off the stick of Evan Bouchard. So Vancouver was trying to clog the shooting lanes, but the fact is that they had to clog the shooting lanes because they didn't have the puck and the Oilers did, and it was zinging around in their zone. And this is Corsi, but Corsi does give you a pretty good idea of who had the puck and what end of the ice, and that would have been Edmonton with the puck in Vancouver's end a lot. And Vancouver had just 39 attempts, only 24 that were on goal, and they were the second team chasing all game long.
Good work there. I got the little signal now from you.
I need to get a new chair when you're getting a new mic. My chair it's losing its big spring or whatever it is. Every once in a while, a whole chair drops an inch.
That's okay. You look like suddenly it's like I'm talking to Samwise. Samwise. It's not Bagans. What's his last name?
Gamgee.
What is Gamgees?
Yeah, Bruce the Hobbit.
Gandalf. All right. Bruce, my number is 44 and 17. 44 faceoffs won for the Oilers. It's just 17 for the Canucks.
Wow.
And again, I don't know when the Oilers have had such a faceoff percentage in a game. So here are the heroes of the night on the faceoff draws. Ryan McLeod, 12 wins, 3 losses.
Wow.
Which is really encouraging for a young player at any level. Colby Cave, 13 wins and 4 losses. And Brad Malone, who, again, is an absolute horse, two-way star at the AHL level, but just can't get it done at this level, really. But he did at the faceoff circle, 11 and 3. So we'll see how that translates. I mean, the Oilers should be better at faceoffs this year. They got Riley Sheehan, who's good, and they got Leon Draisaitl, who's good. Nugent Hopkins, who isn't good, right. and Colby Cave may make this team, Bruce. Like, who's it going to be? I guess who's in the running? Haas
for 4C, Haas and
Cave,
Marody.
Mm-hmm. I guess if you go with Riley Sheehan, he's talked about having one kind of more skill line. I guess it could be Cooper Marody. I mean, I honestly see Cooper Marody on the wing at the NHL level, but
he was 6-5 on the dot tonight, which made him a solid 4th on the Oilers behind those 3. The ironic thing is that for all those good numbers, and for Brandon Sutter, who has 5 wins, 15 losses, that the game was decided on a face-off between Brandon Sutter and Colby Cave, and it went the wrong way for the Oilers. For all they dominated the circle, they lost the game on one face-off.
You know who I was hoping to see tonight, Bruce, was Louis Eriksson.
Mm-hmm.
I know how loved he is by Vancouver fans now, so I was curious to see how he play, like if he would play and how he would play. I'm sure we will see him. I don't know that Vancouver team.
Oh yeah, he'll play.
Oh yeah, of course he'll play.
He'll play in the road games in the exhibition season because he's so loved by the home fans.
He certainly is that.
I got a bonus number for you. This is outside of our numbers. And it just underscores the questionable nature of the NHL hit statistic. And tonight there was a total of 48 hits credited versus last night versus Winnipeg 68. And last night's game was the no-hitter. Like, if there was 2 hits in the whole game that had any kind of impact, I don't remember either of them. It really was a soft game. Speed game, but There was not any sort of animosity. Tonight there was plenty. There was lots of banging hits. I mean, Josh Curry got hammered 3 times on one shift, and Vancouver was really throwing their weight around. A couple dirty hits too. That Vincent Arsenault, I did not like the hit he put on Patrick Russell, but with 5 minutes left in a 1-goal game, the refs decided that they didn't want to do anything. But anyway, who cares? Exhibition game. Other than I'm glad Patrick Russell didn't get hurt. It was one of those kind of plays. Anyway, there was some meanness. There were some scrums after the play and stuff. And yet, if you look just at the hit stat and you said, "Well, this is my barometer for physical play," you'd say, "Well, tonight's game was pretty tame compared to that aggressive game between the Oilers and the Jets last night." And that would be completely ass backwards to what actually happened in those games. So the stat, the way they're recording hits, is not reflecting really what's going on. If these 2 games are our guides, and you can
so
always
they were
find
inflated
examples.
in Edmonton. I wonder if they're always inflated in Edmonton. I wonder if
I remember one time years and years ago, Edmonton was playing Dallas in one of their interminable playoff series, and Game 2 was in Dallas, and Game 3 was in Edmonton, I think it was. And both games were just vicious. The 2 teams were just pounding the shit out of each other. It was just, Edmonton, Dallas, it was like. And in the one game, I still remember the numbers. In the one game in Dallas, the hits were 50-49. And the next game in Edmonton, they were 25-24. And, you couldn't tell the 2 games apart in terms of how heavy, I mean, that was heavy hockey, mean, hard hockey. And yet the counts were half in one barn compared to the other. So what that means, you don't see shots on goal where you get 80 shots recorded in one building and 40 in another, right? But you do with some of the other stats, so you can't really trust them as much as you wish you could. Let's put it that way.
So long, heavy hockey.
Yeah. It's got bring on the fast-paced, quick puck movement, ticky-tacky hockey, man, and I love it. This is I enjoyed this game a lot, and I don't usually say that about September hockey. But
it was
the players, sure, but the actual flow of play was fun, and I found myself really rooting for the young kids playing in this game to pull it out, and they can certainly be proud with their performance.
Hey, look, Bruce.
I see that.
Emojis?
Yeah, I see that. You're crying now, or that's...
So I can comment on what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is not good.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
The right digit that's
you
extended.
can comment on my comments too.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
It looks like. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks for talking tonight, Bruce.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.